Hi best Fiends fam, it's Natalia here again from the channel Cookielicious NZ. Today I'm gonna show you how to make these adorable little rascals. You would have seen them in the latest Easter update, and in this tutorial you will learn how to make the purple little rascal. What you will need for this project is sugar cookies that's been cut out using a printed template. I have a link in the description box below so you can print and cut it. I use an Exacto knife to cut him into shape. And I also print a few extra bits to use for decorating later on, which is his ears and his eyes. I will also be using an edible marker to mark my cookies, and those edible pins are food safe and they're designed especially to work for this kind of project. And I will be using a Scribe tool, which is a needle tool to smooth and shape my icing. And here are my real icing that I have prepared earlier in Rascals colors. You will need light and dark purple, pink, cream, and black medium consistency icing. Okay, so let's get started on the decorating process. To start with, use the template and an edible marker to mark his ears. Then continue to mark all around his body. Then also draw a line where his ears meet. And use the eye template we prepared earlier to position his eyes properly. Start piping white medium consistency icing to fill his right eye first. Then, while the white icing is still wet, add a black medium consistency icing. Then another dot of white icing to make his eyes. Then let the icing crust over. Repeat the same steps on the other eye and let the icing dry completely before moving on to the next step. Then the next thing you need to do is to draw his mouth with an edible marker. So mark the area carefully. Then go over what you have just drawn with an outline consistency dark purple icing. When that's done, pipe light purple medium consistency icing and fill the top section of his face and body. Just carefully pipe all around his face, on the top of his eyes, and then also cover the areas in the bottom of his eyes. Just pipe it carefully. Use a Scribe tool if needed, and the Scribe tool is very useful for this purpose. You can push and shape the icing into the tricky areas, especially the ones that are quite tiny and hard to get into with your piping bag. Then use a cream color medium consistency icing to pipe the bottom of his mouth. Again, use the Scribe tool if needed. Then to create a puffier cheeks for little Rascal, you need to add a little bit more icing onto the top of his cheeks, like the cheekbone, and then near the area for his mouth. Then let it dry for a few hours. Next, let's move on to his ears. Start with the right ear by piping light purple medium consistency icing, and then use the Scribe tool to smooth out and shape the icing. While the icing is still wet, add cream color medium consistency icing to create his inner ear. Then use the same cream color icing to create his feet. Use the same light purple medium consistency icing to fill his arms, and use the Scribe tool to shape the icing. When you have done this, you have to let the icing dry for a few hours. Repeat the same steps for his other ear by piping the same light purple medium consistency icing, and while the icing is still wet, add the cream color icing to create his inner ear. Now this technique is also called wet on wet technique. Oh, and before I forget, I'll put a link for my icing recipe in the description box below, so be sure to check it out. The next step is to fill his legs area with the same light purple icing. Again, the Scribe tool is very handy when it comes to filling in small areas like this. You can shape the icing into the section. Then pipe dark purple outline consistency icing to create more definition on his arms. And pipe two little lines on his feet using outline consistency cream color icing, and this will create the little sections on his feet. Then pipe white medium consistency icing to create one side of his teeth first. Then you'll need to let it crust over before moving on to the other side, because if you don't, the icing will merge together and you won't see two front teeth, but instead you'll see one huge tooth in front. And that's why you'll need to let the icing crust over in between. The next step is to create his cute pink nose. Pipe pink medium consistency icing just above the mouth area. And then lastly, pipe black outline consistency icing to create 3 little hairs on top of his head. So there you have it guys, one cute little rascal. I hope you enjoyed this video and you know the drill. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe to Best Fiends for more fun video like this. And if you want to check out more of my cookie tutorials, head over to my channel at Cookielicious NZ. Thank you so much for watching and until next time.